Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Wednesday afternoon, September 8th. We are looking at Window Trader's market profile of SPY, IWM, and Triple Qs. A couple of things changed on the landscape today in SPY and ES. The weekly is now in balance, and the daily is now down. As we come out of a 6-day balance with pretty good tempo and volume, only to give it all back, but I'm still calling the daily down. We battled last week's low, which is the bottom of the 6-day balance, all afternoon. Had a very good first part of the day, did nothing in the second part because the market didn't do anything. But had a very good start to my week. Triple Qs, open and drive down, never saw the opening again. Had a chance for a trend day down, but they filled the single prints. We end 9 wide. And an afternoon rally high in J. Russell gave a tremendous head fake. They gap lower. Take out A's high, looks like they're going to go fill the gap, only to have a reversal bar and go out with a trend day down. But they do end up with 10 wide. But a couple of things now with Russell and the righty. They do have a double distribution day. They do have a gap. But here's the real disappointing thing for buyers. They took out last month's high and are now inside of it by over $3, like $3.50. So that's a negative. And they took out last week's low, so they're back in balance on the weekly. So where things were starting to look really positive coming out of an inside month to the upside. Now again, we still have 3 weeks left in the month, but for now they gave that up and they're back to balance on the weekly. For us, we take out last week's low to come into balance on the weekly. We go below the 6-day balance. We close right at it, basically. I'm calling the daily down. Again, I had a good day as far as my trades go. So in A period, we took out yesterday's low. I took a long the first time against the 30th low, which was the balance low, the 450 calls. And the first time there, excuse me, I got paid as it went back up. Then in A period, I took a short when it went back up against the overnight POC because it was a very visual POC. I'm like, it is definitely going to hit a speed bump there, which it did. Those were the 453 puts. Now, I played pretty big. On that first long, I took 100 calls when we got down to the balance low. Took a 100 call play, and I took a 100 put play when we got to the overnight POC. So they were both big plays and they both worked out. Then in B period, we took out Ace high. I'm like, there's no way we're going trend just yet. We had at least, by the way, value's lower. I'm in threes. It shows overlapping the low. We had lower value today. Value was overlapping the low at the time. I'm like, I don't think we're going to go trend just yet. So I didn't take 100, but I did take another 453 put play. Then when C broke down below A, I didn't do anything right away, but when it started getting legs, any push up, I did the 452 puts. Now we did have single prints in D. Now here's one trade I didn't take, which I regret not taking. So I scalped shorts in C, but when it got down to the single print from the 27th, I wanted to take a long, and I didn't pull the trigger the first time there, and boy did it bounce like 70 cents as soon as it got it. It's the only trade I feel I missed on the day. But I scalped the 452 puts in C, and then I scalped shorts in D 2 times against, even when the single prints filled. I added when they filled. It was a nice trade as it came back down. Those were the 452s. So I was having a very good morning. Then F period went up. I'm like, well, all they're going to do is take out some, alleviate the short pressure and get momentum buying. Started a put play above D. Added to it pretty good size right around F's high. Had about 110 puts. And then as they came back in, took them off for a nice trade. And that was it. That was it. Because nothing else enticed me. I wasn't going to start shorting again above the open in J or L. And there was nothing to the downside that I wanted to look for long. So it was a good day, even though I didn't do any trading after F period. Now, when I give you my destinations, again, I'm using these as reference points, but there's no way near true afternoon rally highs or pullback lows. Just keep that in mind. So for the upside, I am using L's high of 451.13 as an afternoon rally high, and 451.67 is today's high. You should have all the others that I gave from yesterday, this morning. And then on the downside, 450.70, B's low is 10 wide. That is my line in the sand tomorrow. That is last week's low, and it's the bottom of the 6-day balance. Now, I can't just say we stretched the balance, because we stretched it by almost $2. That's more than stretching it. I'm also not going to say it's a look below and fail, because we're closing right at it. So tomorrow, B's low will be my line in the sand. If we can't get back above it, I'll be looking for shorts. If we get back above it with acceptance, especially if we take out the day's high, I'll be looking for longs. So 450.70, 10 wide, then 450.06, I'll use H as the pullback low. And today's low, 448.64. And then we have those single prints, 448.85 to 02 from the 27th. They only got taken out by 1 penny. There's still 83 cents left. And then on the chart, monthly still very healthy, one time framing up 11 months. Weeklies, change took place, back into balance. Now again, because it's an art, some people say it's a 2-week balance. Some people say it's a 3-week balance. I'm saying it's a 3-week balance since we got into the week of the 23rd. So that being the case, right now my destination to the downside would be 445.14. But again, we have the 20-day moving average and those single prints to get through before that happens. So 3-day balance, 3-week balance for me on the weekly. And the daily is down. Yes, we closed back inside, barely the 6-day balance. But we are one-time framing now 3 days. I'm going to make the buyers prove to me they need to take out today's high, and then I would be back into balance. If we can't, the daily is still down. Hope you had a good day trading today. Have a great night, and we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.